friends, welcome back to Technique. Today we'll be doing a camera comparison of two smartphones in the mid-range segment. We have the newly launched OnePlus Nord CE4, priced around the 25,000 rupees. In fact, with card offers you can buy it at a lower pricing. Now we have also the iQOO Z9, which is priced lesser than 20,000, the base variant, but still these two devices compete almost in the same price segment, around the 20 to 20,000, 25,000 price segment. So in this video we'll be doing a camera comparison of these two devices. Now there are differences in the camera, so let's see how they differ and what all camera output you can take up from these two devices and which is better in terms of the camera experience. So before going to the video, if this is your first time on this channel, do hit that subscribe button and also hit the bell icon to get notified of all the videos we publish. Now first talking about the camera on the OnePlus Nord CE4. Now this device comes with a Sony Light 600 sensor, which is 50 megapixel shooter, optically mid stabilization, f1.8 aperture. You get an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, then you get a 16 megapixel selfie camera, which is f2.4 aperture. Now there is EIS support on the selfie camera, so there is just two cameras, the primary and the ultra wide. There is no macro, no depth sensor. Now the iQOO Z9 comes with a primary Sony IMX882 sensor. It's again a 50 megapixel shooter, optically mid stabilization, f1.78 aperture. Now the secondary camera is just a 2 megapixel bokeh camera. There is no ultra wide, there is no macro. So basically it's a primary camera setup, and you get a 16 megapixel selfie camera, which is a f2.0 aperture. So that's the camera hardware of these two devices. So let's go straight into the camera samples to see which performs better and which is the better device in terms of camera experience. So let's begin. So first let's have a look at the daylight captures. So looking at the daylight captures, you can see here both the devices produces pretty much a similar result. Again, iQOO Z9 has a slightly richer tones in terms of colors. They're not oversaturated, but they do have a slightly richer tone. But OnePlus Nord CE4 does more or less natural tone. Again, the images are a bit more brighter on iQOO Z9, but HDR and sharpness levels are slightly better on the OnePlus Nord CE4. So if you look at the daylight captures, there isn't much to differentiate. Colors are more natural on the OnePlus Nord CE4, while it's slightly richer on the iQOO Z9. Sharpness levels and details look slightly better on the OnePlus Nord CE4. So that was the daylight captures taken with these two devices. Now looking at the close-up images, once again you can see here both the devices did a really good job in terms of details, but once again sharpness levels are slightly better on the OnePlus Nord CE4. iQOO Z9 also did a pretty good job here, but overall I would say the OnePlus Nord CE4 was a slightly better option of the two devices. Now moving on to the portraits. Now here you can see that while the colors and skin tones are more natural looking on the OnePlus Nord CE4, but you can see that the edge detection is better on the iQOO Z9. Now iQOO Z9 portraits are richer in tone. The skin tones are a bit more whitish in nature. They're not really the natural tone. Again, you can see the t-shirt color is more natural looking on the OnePlus Nord CE4. While the iQOO Z9 portraits do look good, especially in terms of edge detection, it's not the real colors. So portraits, I would say neither of these two devices are really perfect. Both did a pretty good job, but again both have their own shortcomings. Now moving on to the low light experience. So here you can see that once again the sharpness levels and details look slightly better on the OnePlus Nord in terms of the indoor shots, but when it comes to outdoor shots, here again you can see that the dynamic range was slightly better on the iQOO Z9, but overall the sharpness levels and details looks pretty much similar. iQOO Z9 images did have a slightly higher noise levels, but more or less similar in terms of colors and performance. So the low light experience looks pretty much similar on both the devices. Both have the optically mid stabilization, and hence the images are pretty much stable in extreme low light as well. So that was the low light captures with these two devices. Now when it comes to selfie camera, you can see here both did a pretty good job here. Both are very similar in terms of output. Once again the sharpness levels in the facial tone was slightly better on the OnePlus Nord CE4, but no major difference. Again, it's more of a personal choice whether you like the OnePlus Nord CE4 or the iQOO Z9. Both did a pretty good job overall. Now portrait selfies also turned out to be decent experience on both the devices. Moving on to the video recording, both the devices can record videos in 4K 30 FPS. Now here you can see the stabilization and the overall detailing was slightly better on the iQOO Z9. Also the colors were a bit more realistic on the iQOO Z9, while the OnePlus Nord stabilization at 4K 30 FPS was not that great. So that was the video recording in 4K 30 FPS. Now the video recording 1080p 60 FPS is also quite similar. Here the stabilization looks pretty much similar, and the dynamic range and details also looks pretty much similar. But once again, the colors are a bit more warmer on the iQOO Z9. The 1080p at 30 FPS video also very similar. The details and sharpness levels and the stabilization looks very much similar. Once again, it was slightly cooler tone on the OnePlus while it was warmer on the iQOO. So this is the front-facing camera sample taken with the OnePlus Nord CE4. So it can record videos in 1080p resolution. So you can judge yourself how good the clarity of the video is and also the audio output. So this is the front-facing camera sample taken with the iQOO Z9. It can record videos in 1080p resolution. So you can judge yourself how good the clarity of the video is and also the audio output. So that is the camera comparison of these two devices. Now looking at the camera experience. Now the daylight captures pretty much a similar experience while the colors were a bit richer on the iQOO Z9. iQOO has this tendency of having richer tones while OnePlus Nord CE4 more like natural tones. But again, not a major difference here. The sharpness levels and dynamic range was slightly better on the OnePlus Nord CE4, but colors were richer on the iQOO Z9. So it's up to you to decide which one you like. Now there is ultra wide angle camera on this device. That's an advantage if you shoot a lot of ultra wide images. You do get that option, even though 8 megapixel is not a really great performer, but you still get that option. Now macros are not available on these two devices. Now portraits, while the tones were better on the OnePlus Nord CE4, the edge detection was better on the iQOO Z9. Now iQOO Z9 again was kind of richer tones and slightly whitish in skin tones, while this is more like realistic tones, but edge detection was better on the iQOO Z9. Now low light experience was again very similar, nothing much to differentiate between these two devices. Again, sharpness levels was better on the OnePlus Nord CE4. Now video recording, I feel the iQOO Z9 was slightly better here, the rear camera recording, but the selfie camera was OnePlus Nord CE4. So it's a kind of mixed performer. There is no clear winner in terms of camera experience, but overall if you look at the camera experience, OnePlus Nord CE4 would probably be my pick because it has this extra 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera. That's definitely an added addition. It's more a versatile camera than the iQOO Z9, but there is no clear winner in terms of the primary camera on these two devices. So what do you guys think about the cameras on these two devices? Do let us know your thoughts in the comment section. This is Nirmal signing off. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in our next video. Have a great day.